Five. It's Tuesday, February 25th, and we are now looking at Unit 3. We're starting a new unit. Yesterday I was not here, so you'll see what was done while I was gone on Google Classroom. Some of you have already been working on that exit ticket from yesterday. But essentially, what happened yesterday is we introduced a couple of things, or the computer introduced it to you, maybe. In Unit 3, we are talking all about polygons. Polygons. Now, here's a little freebie on that day 24 exit ticket. What's a polygon? Who can tell me? Star?
A polygon is like a triangle, a square, an octagon, a pyramid, a hexagon. What it is it's the shapes that each one of them measures the same.
Ooh, that would be a regular polygon.
Yeah, regular
So
polygon,
yes, that is a type of polygon. Those like shapes.
Straight line.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Straight lines.
Yes.
A shape
So
formed
a polygon.
straight line.
Go ahead, say it again, Kelly.
Sorry. A shape formed entirely by straight lines.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to say. Yes.
So a polygon has to have straight lines. The shape also, I believe, must be closed. Cannot be an open shape. So polygons are just all of the shapes that we see made out of straight lines. Is a circle a polygon?
No.
No, we're not talking about circles yet. We're talking about polygons, shapes with straight lines, okay? So we have already gotten to the shape with the least amount of sides, the triangle. Now there are shapes with more sides than 3. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it goes until infinity. So let's first talk about some of the names of these different types of polygons. We'll talk about some other things. So we have first triangle. And beside this, I'm actually going to write number of sides. Triangle, how many sides does a triangle have?
3.
3. So, triangle has 3 sides. Moving up one, we have a 4-sided polygon. Does anybody know the technical name for a 4-sided polygon?
Pyramid.
Could be a parallelogram. That's a type of this shape.
Quadrilateral.
Chance knows it. It's a quad, Q-U-A-D, quadrilateral. Quadrilateral. A quadrilateral is any shape with 4 sides, any polygon with 4 sides. Could be a square, could be a rectangle, could be a trapezoid, a pyramid, not a pyramid. I'm sorry, Star, you got the word pyramid in my brain. Pyramids are actually not polygons.
They're treated.
It is a 3-dimensional shape. Polygons are 2-dimensional. Slightly different. I know, mind blowing.
Whoa, okay.
So 4 sides. It does not matter what the 4 sides are arranged in, as long as they're all connected and they create a closed shape. Does anybody know what a 5-sided polygon is called? There's a very famous government building that has this name, the Pentagon. 5 sides is a pentagon. And you know, I believe it's named the Pentagon because it is built in that shape, in the shape of a pentagon.
Yeah.
So a pentagon has 5 sides. And we could draw a little picture by these. My triangle's got 3. My quadrilateral's got 4. My pentagon's got 5. About 6. Hexagon. Good. You guys know some of these. Hexagon. Hexagon has 6 sides. That's not a hexagon, but it's an octagon. The hexagon.
Looks as good as mine.
This one most people don't know.
Octagon.
7.
Let's number 8 octagon.
I think I might have heard
Say
6.
heptagon.
Hexagon. How do y'all know that?
Heptagon.
Where'd you learn heptagon?
Well, my children is doing it. So
Really?
Yeah, I'm working on the same lesson with
Aw,
my kids. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, they on elementary, so you know how I feel like.
That
really.
is hilarious. Well, that's the beauty of geometry.
It
It's
is.
so it can be very simple when it's broken down. It's just shapes until we start plugging in crazy things. Then it gets fun.
Crazy.
Mhm.
Crazy.
Okay, so we have a heptagon. That's 7 sides, and from there, I don't think I'm gonna try to draw them. What's 8 sides? Octagon. Do we know anything that is shaped like an octagon?
UFC ring.
Ooh, a UFC ring? I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Anything else?
Something like that.
There's one that you see on the road every day.
Stop
Is
sign.
Stop sign. Stop signs are octagons. Pretty cool. Octagon I can draw. No. My octagon. How about 9 sides? Is this where we stop?
Yeah, that's where.
Anyone know a 9-sided polygon is?
I can ask Google.
I didn't learn what this was until college. Full
Pentagon?
disclosure. You're close.
I don't remember.
It starts with an
It
N.
does. I don't remember. Hexagon.
Any guesses?
Nonagon.
Nonagon. Good. Nonagon has 9 sides.
You gonna draw us one?
Say it again.
You gonna draw us one?
Probably not. How about 10 sides?
Pentagon.
Pentagon.
Pentagon. No,
Decagon.
it's not. Say it again.
Decagon.
Decagon.
You are so close, Michael. You got it.
What
Decagon.
is it? Who got it?
Decagon, like decade.
Yes. Yeah,
Decade.
that's right. That's the teacher so when I was in school.
Deca,
They got
decade. Decade is 10 years. Decagon has 10 sides.
How's about that?
Pretty cool.
Shucks you.
So
Yeah.
we got decagon. This one I bet nobody knows. 11.
Oh, yeah, mine ended it. Mine ended it.
And the decagon.
Almost. Couple extra syllables in there.
I don't know. And the deck.
It
With
is
the decagon on.
Called a
No
decagon. Why I don't know.
Wow.
I really don't know why.
And decagon.
That's what they call it. Decagon.
Yeah, Henderson.
Yes.
Like what?
I know. How would I remember that? I don't know.
Henderson.
Oh,
Like-
like going up that high. Golly.
Well, there's one more that I'm going to tell you about.
Triptagon.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
Oh, nigga.
But this
It
one's
started
12.
sound like some. It started sound like some
I'll give you the first part.
transform.
D-O decagon again.
Yeah, dodecagon.
No way.
Those decagon.
I don't know
This is the
why.
tongue twister. Like,
Oh, shush, yeah.
Dodecagon.
And
Now, you don't really need to write all these down. I'm not going to test you on them. But it is good to know. It is good to know. And who knows, there could be a little bonus question or something. So I guess it's good to write. It's good to write them. You never know. So here's a bunch of different polygons.
Technically, you can keep going forever.
You could go forever. Now, let's say that the number of sides is n.
who named these things?
N meaning a number we don't know. Let's say the number of sides is N. For example, what if we had like 1,000,000 sides? How on earth would we name it? There is a beautiful way to do this.
Milligon.
Kinda. Close. If you want to know the name of the polygon with N sides, it is just called
Millidecagon.
N-gun.
N-gun.
Oh boy.
You just replace the N with the number you want to use. So, what is a 100-sided shape? A
N-gun.
100 gun. That's it.
it.
100 gun.
Now let's just get to
Right.
all kinds
Then it
of
gets
nuts
easier.
and
So,
bolts.
for example, if we wanted a 45-sided polygon,
45 gone?
we call it a 45 gun.
That's too much.
Oh bad. Oh boy.
Pretty crazy.
Are
45 gun.
we going up that high?
That's it. Now, I won't do that to
All
you.
praises. All praises.
So, just for fun, these are some of the different types of polygons. And there are things we do with these polygons. Okay, we learned a lot about angles and our triangles. But let's talk more about the side lengths, and let's talk about the space inside the shape. So there's two things that we can find in polygons. The first thing is perimeter. Perimeter. Now, y'all should have learned a little something about perimeter yesterday.
The distance around the shape.
Yeah. So let's define perimeter. Max, say that again.
Distance around the shape?
Yeah, it's
All the sides.
perfect. This is the total distance around a shape, or it's the side lengths added together. So basically, to find perimeter, it is add side lengths. It's the total distance. A. We're going to learn about one more thing today. Not just perimeter, but area. Does anybody know what area is?
The inside.
It's the inside of the shape. It is the space a shape takes up. So it's space inside a shape. Those are kind of general definitions. Now, moving forward, I'm going to start giving you some specific formulas. This is a part of geometry where we start using formulas a lot. And different shapes are going to have some different formulas. So, can I tear this page out? Can I start a new page? So, we will do a quick review of perimeter since yesterday it's just hard to count a day as being a real day when I'm not there. I feel like it just doesn't ever go exactly like I think it will. So let's just talk for a moment about perimeter specifically. We're actually going to focus today a little more on four-sided polygons, on quadrilaterals. Okay, so if I have go with a square. Let's talk about a square. First of all, there's a couple of things that are true about a square that have to exist, or else this four-sided shape is not considered a square. So I am going to draw a rough sketch of a square, and I'm going to label it with some things that make it a square. I want you guys to point those things out. So,
All sides are equal.
ooh, yes, all of the sides are equal to each other.
They're all 90 degrees.
And they're all 90-degree angles. Yes, those are the two things that have to be true for it to be a square. I need to have 4 90-degree angles, and I need to have 4 equal sides. It does not work if those are not true. So, 4 equal sides and 4 90-degree angles. And we are going to call each side length S. Now, if I wanted to find the perimeter of this square, and I tell you that, let's see, I'm gonna write one. Find perimeter for S equals 12.5 inches.
50.
Let's think about how would we solve this?
That times 4.
Ooh, just 12.5 times 4?
Yep.
Why does that work?
Because all sides are the same.
They're all the same length. S, 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 S. There's 4 S's here. I could do 12.5 plus 12.5 plus 12.5 plus, that is a lot of things to write. It's going to be a lot faster to know. Multiplication is just repeated addition. Okay? So I can just do 12.5 times 4. And Mac, what did you say you got for your answer there? 50. So the formula for finding the perimeter of a square is 4S. So P equals 4S. Whatever your S is, you take it times 4. And sometimes I like to have that in parentheses. So again, P equals 4 times S. So I plug in 12.5 for S. And I get P equals, that's 50, right? 12.5 plus 12.5 is 25. 25 plus 25 is 50. So that's our first formula. To find the perimeter of a square, we do 4 times the side length. Now, what about if I have a rectangle?
2 sides will be the same. No, 2 will be the same.
Yes. We don't have 4 equal sides this time. We have 2 equal sides and 2 more equal sides that are equal to each other, not all 4 equal. So 2 sets of equal sides. 2 sets of equal sides. What about our angles?
Still 90.
Still 90 degrees. You have to have all four angles at 90 degrees for it to be a rectangle. Okay, so here's how I'm going to label my two sets of equal sides. I'm just going to put one tick mark on my two short sides. I'm going to put two tick marks on my long sides, like that. And on a rectangle, we are going to call my long side L for length and my short side W for width. Length and width. So I want you now to find the perimeter for L equals 28 inches. And I'm going to give you something tricky. What if the width is 1/2 of the length? So I'm giving you something tricky here. I want you to find the perimeter. My length is 28 inches. My width is half of the length. So, what's the first step we should take?
2 times 28.
2 times 28. Okay. So 2 times 28. And that will give us this length plus this length, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's do that. I know that my perimeter is going to be my length, my width, my width. So let's do that. Perimeter equals length, width. I'm adding those. So 2 times 28
It's 56. And 14 for the width.
Which is 28.
2 times 28, you said 56?
Yes.
Okay. Plus, now my width is half of my length.
14.
So 28.
Yeah.
It'll be 14, but if you times it by 2, it'll still be 28.
You're right. So you could do a couple of things. You could do 28 divided by 2, and that's going to give you half the length, so the width is 14. But we're just going to have to take it times 2 again because we have 2 widths.
Mhm.
So if you've got a big brain and you can think about that in your head right away, it's pretty awesome. We can just do 56 plus 28.
Equals 84.
Or if we're not comfortable with that, we know what's happening here is width is 14. So we're doing that twice. Same thing. Okay, so what is 56 plus 28?
84.
84. 84, and it's inches.
Inches.
Good. Now that was kind of fast. But basically what we did here is we did 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Now, if we think back to algebra and a lot of older things, there is a property that lets us rearrange this into an equation that's a little bit easier to mess with rather than adding up 4 numbers together. We can think of this as the perimeter equals 2 times length plus width. because through the distributive property, when we distribute, we will be taking 2 times the length and 2 times the width. So, might be easier just to add those
Yeah.
together and take them times 2, huh? So here's your shortcut. Thought that formula was pretty cool when I discovered it. Just makes it a little faster. And let's see if that works. So let's see. Well, with this problem I gave you, it would be kind of weird.
No, because you would just, with this problem, it'd be P, the shortcut would be P equals 2 times the length.
Mhm.
You would get to, oh no, you
It would
would.
be 28 plus 14.
Yeah.
Right. So we would just have to solve for the
Yeah,
width
solve
first.
the half first.
Mhm. Right. That makes sense. Well, here, I can write it out just in case anyone's interested. P
I was thinking
equals 2 times my length
Don't make me
is
laugh.
28
Really breathe.
plus my width. We found it was 14 earlier.
Yes.
So through distribution, 2 times 28 is 56 plus 2 times 14 is 28. And look, that's the same
Oh, I love
problem as earlier.
I love
Kind
that.
of cool. But what's really cool is if you type this in your calculator, or if you just do 28 plus 14 first and then times 2, you'll get your answer all in one step. So, kind of nice. Little cheat code. Little shortcut.
I like that.
So there's your square and your rectangle perimeter. And we're just going to worry about those two right now. All you do is add the side lengths together. If you forget these formulas, it is fine. First of all, they are on the wall. That's what I've been looking at. They're right over there. Area and perimeter of the rainbow poster. Right there. So there's your cheat sheet.
Can we downsize that?
Yeah,
Right, wouldn't that be excellent?
absolutely.
Can you, and
I wonder if I can figure out a way to print that off.
that would
I don't know.
be great.
But I'll tell you what would be even better practice for all of you. It'll stick it in your brains better than looking at a paper. Take a picture of it and then give yourself some time and write it down. Copy it down. That would be really good practice for you guys. But anywho, that's our practice with perimeter. Let's look at one that was like our exit ticket though. These are like very regular shapes. Let's talk about when we don't know a side length.
Yes.
I'm going to have to find it. So, for example, let's do one real similar to the exit ticket. I'm going to just draw kind of a random shape. I actually don't know exactly what it's going to look like yet. It's just going to come out to be whatever it's going to be. Like stairs. Now, the thing that we need to know about this shape is these are all right angles, which basically means that this length from here to here lines up all the way across. Since it's a perfect right angle, they go out at straight lines, okay? So everything lines up nice and neat. Then I'm going to give you some lengths. Let's say this is 67 inches. This side here. This is 35 inches. Talking about this first step. And I'll say 18 inches. This one's a tricky one. like big time tricky. Then I'm gonna give you 3 more lengths. This will be 31 inches. So I am going to highlight my sides that are missing that I need to find the lengths of. I need to find that side length. And I need to find this side length.
Sure.
That sounds pretty crazy. Now, guys, I'm gonna be so honest. Something like this is not at all on your quiz at all. I think they're kind of fun. They're like puzzles. And being able to do something fun like this is like really good for exercising your brain. So,
But are we, okay, I got a question for you on this one.
yes.
Okay, since we already have the 31 inches,
Mhm.
so we're just actually solving for the other half down there.
We're
Or
solving for this side
You-
length.
You want the entire side length?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then we're solving for this side length. So I'll give you guys a minute to, if you're drawing this picture,
Is there a formula?
there's no formula. No formula. Although we can write some equations to solve for side lengths, we're just gonna have to get creative. We're gonna have to get creative and think about this pretty rationally. A great first step is to think about how can we compare different parts of this shape to itself. For example, let's look at this length right here, the 26 inches. This length is parallel to this line down here. What other side lengths are parallel? 24 and 31, right? Ah, okay. So, let me use a different marker. That one's fine on me. If we notice 31-inch side lines up right with the 24, those would join together. That would line up right with the 26, join together. Up. That's going to give us our
So you would
side
add
length.
All
Yes.
3 of those together will give you that bottom length.
Yes.
Hold on,
Yes.
what do we, ooh.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, well, I don't think I do. I was just trying to see how we got those side, numbers, the 3 numbers. 31.
31, 24, and 26?
Mhm.
So we chose these because this side length,
Mhm.
this side length, and this side length, they're all going left to right.
Oh, okay,
And this one's going left to right.
okay.
So if I were to
Maybe 81.
see,
Yes.
like I'm looking at what's parallel to what.
Okay.
Like this one, the green one goes up and down.
Yeah.
So does this one. So does this one. So does 67. We're looking at which sides can line up with each other to help
Alright.
us figure out this one.
All right.
So I
Alrighty.
see that when I drag this side down here and this side down here and this side down here, I'm gonna get, look at this, my 31, my 24, and my 26. Those are going to line up and give me my overall length on the bottom, right? If I wanted to, I could draw some little lines here even. You see how these line up?
Mm-hmm.
We can separate it, simplify the shape. So, how do I find that missing side length?
Add on the bottom.
Just add them together. That's all we're doing. I'm going to take 31 plus 24 plus 26.
81.
It's 81.
How do you?
So let's see. 6 plus 4 is 10 plus 1 is 11. 2 plus 2 is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is correct. 81 inches. Is that our perimeter?
Yes.
No.
No.
That's the one side length.
This is
Yeah.
just the side length.
That's what.
Okay,
We
so
just
how?
found the side length of this bottom piece.
Not Russian.
Now we need to find this
Yes.
missing green side. Michael?
Did you have mine?
67.
18.
67
Ooh.
minus 35 minus 18, and
Yes.
you get 14.
So we have, let me
You're
mark
subtracting
these.
this on.
Now I'm looking at the sides that are parallel to my green one. I am missing this length.
I take away this side
Yeah.
length.
Now I
This
have
side length, and this side length,
18 that is the same, 35 is the same, and 67. Notice how if I were to turn my paper to the side, now I've got the same kind of problem here. If I drag this side all the way down to here, and I drag this one down to here, and I drag this one down to here, my 35 and my missing side, call that X, and my 18 line up. And these three sides added together give me how many inches?
67.
67, because they line up with this opposite side here.
Yep.
So this is the same way we do the extra ticket that we had, or the thing.
Exactly the same. Yes, yes, exactly. So, I'm going to turn this back to normal. What could we write to solve for X here?
67 minus
35.
Minus 35.
Minus 18.
Minus 18.
Okay.
Okay.
14.
equals 14.
Is 14? Okay, 14 inches. That's my missing length here.
Hey.
Not too bad. So I know that this is 14 right there. I know that this big one is 81 on the bottom. How do I find the perimeter of this whole thing?
Add them all together.
Add them all together. Add them all together. So, let's see. 31. And here's what I'm going to do. You don't have to do it this way, but I like to cross things off as I use them because I lose track of things. 31, 35. I'm going to write them. 31, 35. 24, 14. 26, 18. I could just write these three numbers again, but save myself some time. I'm going to write 81 because I already added those together. 1. 67. Use 31. So, add these together. Tell me what you get.
296.
296?
Yeah.
Know what you got? Let's see, 31, 35, that gives me 66. 14, 24. 8. Should do this in my head. Okay, 66. 38. You got 266? Is that right?
296.
296.
What am I missing? What am I missing? Okay, so 31 plus 35 plus 24.
26 plus 18. Oh, did you put in 4? Yeah, you did put 14. Okay, then let me redo on mine.
You can also use rectangles.
Oh, I got it. 296. I must have missed a number in my calculator.
You can also use rectangle rules for this shape.
Yes, you can. Kelly, tell me about it. Tell me about how you pretend this is a rectangle.
Because you know that both of your horizontal lines are 81. And both your vertical lines are 67.
Yep. This is just a rearranged rectangle. All that happened is they took this side length that was up here, but they cut it into 3 spots and moved parts of the lines down. This shape will have the same perimeter as a rectangle with a side length of 67 and the other side length of 81. It's gonna be the same. Now, what will be interesting later on is to see if the area is the same. It won't be. Okay. So, if this is crazy,
You have to cut it into.
don't be too worried.
Sorry.
We're not doing too much stuff just like this.
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
we have any questions?
No, I was very lost when I got there, but you made it all make sense. Great.
Good.
Very
Good.
lost.
Okay, I'm gonna tear this out unless anybody needs it. Okay, and I'm gonna give you like the mini baby 5-minute intro lesson to area. Just a mini lesson, okay? And we're just gonna talk about a square and a rectangle, real quick. See ya. Page 3, and I will give a title later. So, area. Not the distance around, but the space inside of a shape. Now, let's talk about how we find the area of a square. So, remember, all sides are the same in a square, and we have 4 right angles. Let's say our side length, let's say find area for this equals 10 inches. Now, I haven't told you how to find area, but I wonder, do any of you know how to find area already? Yes. Length times width, base times height. However you have been taught it in the past, you are just doing a side times a side, basically. Now, for a square, all 4 sides are the same. So does it matter what we put for base, length, width, height, whatever we're choosing?
No, because it's all gonna come to
No.
40.
It's all the same. So for my area, there's a few ways that we can think of it. There's a little formula. It's going to be S times S. Or what happens when I take a number times itself. You guys remember what symbol we can use to write it? Uh-huh. Say it louder. Squared! Guys, it's hilarious. To find the area of a square, we square it. Crazy. So the area of a square is s squared. Whatever the side length is, you just have to type it once in your calculator and hit the square button. What's the area of a square with a side length of 10?
40.
Now that would be that would be using the perimeter.
Yes.
100.
100. Yes. So let's see what happens with both of the formulas. If I do area equals side times side, that would be 10 times 10, which is
100.
100. Now here's the funky part. This is the only time things change. Inches. What's different about my units? Does anyone know? I haven't taught you this. I just wonder if any of you already know. That's okay. So with perimeter, when we're measuring a length, we are just talking inches. But whenever we're talking about area, we are always talking in inches or centimeters or feet, whatever it is, squared. Area is measured in square inches, or square feet, or square miles, or whatever. So what this means is that inside of this square, I can fit 100 1 by 1 inch squares inside of here. That's all it means. Meaning if I were to make this actual size, I would have, let's see, there's an inch. A square inch is just an inch side length for all 4 sides of a square. So this is a square inch. If this square existed, there would be 100 of these inside of it. 1 inch. So there's my length. My area is 1 inch squared. Just wait till we get to, I wish we had more time in this term. We never even got to 3D shapes. What do you think a 3D shape would be?
Cool.
What's the 3D version of a square? Does anybody know?
Cube.
A cube? How do you think the units would be? Instead of inches squared, what would you write? What you just said.
Cube.
Inches cubed! Inches cubed! It's crazy. We would put a 3 there instead of a 2. Because it's going, this right now, the 2 is because we're in 2 dimensions. Length is 1 dimensional. We're only looking from point A to B. Now we have a 2-dimensional shape. There's a plane here. The 3rd dimension is the cube. Kind of cool.
Totally.
I don't know. I just like to, you guys are fun to nerd out with. Okay. And then we could do the second formula. The same thing will happen. A equals s squared. S is 10. 10 squared equals 100. We get the same answer. So this is only for a square though. Now for a rectangle, we don't have 4 sides that are the same length. So we can't just do side squared. We have 2 different measures. We have a length or a base and a height, whatever you decide to call it. So I'm just going to draw a rectangle. And this will be the last thing we talk about today, and then I'll let you leave. No. We have length and width. And our area formula for rectangles, area equals length times width. So find area for length equals 12 inches and width equals 9 inches. Be consistent with this. It's confusing. You know when you think you've got the area for number 2. $108. I think you're right. 12 times 9. Let's see. Just don't know that off of my head.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 108. Beautiful. So the area is length times width, or 12 times 9, which is 108. What would our units be? Inches
Squared.
squared. Even though it's not a square, the inches are still squared. We don't say inches rectangle. That's not a thing. It'd be kind of cool if it was, though. Okay. That's our lesson today, guys. I know you'll hate me for this, but we are going to have a little baby egg ticket, and it's not going to be crazy like yesterday's. I'm going to have you find the area and the perimeter of a square. So I'm going to move this and keep it up for just a moment. And if you want to wait for the copy of the exit ticket, you can, but don't feel like you have to. I know these notes, or does anyone still need them? And if any questions pop up as I'm writing, shout out, let me know. All right, if you got some. So, geometry. And I want you to find the area and the perimeter. So, square has a side length of 246.2 inches. I know that's pretty wild, but just using formulas, y'all can do this. Doesn't matter what the square looks like. Visual is not as important, especially if you know the formulas. Make sure you put your area and your perimeter in the correct units. Inches or inches squared. Make sure you do the right one. Okay. This will be due Friday. Okay, I will leave that frozen on the board. I'm gonna make copies. Those of us not here, but that is all today. I'm gonna end the recording there, and if you finish, you are free to go.